Mediation.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm not so sure about the other participants. They were very uncompromising, in their stance. And I really do want to try and come to a reasonable solution. But I'm not sure if that's going to be possible.
How did you feel yourself responding to what they were saying in the open session?
Well, I think they were incorrect in what they were saying and sort of over stipulating things that weren't really actually correct. We communicated with them, we emailed them, we gave them the warnings. They were looking for new software, which we then provided. We advised them to go for a 64-bit computer and not a 32. We advised them about the hardware, but they did not respond. They didn't take that advice. So what happened to them actually is not of our concern, because everything we've done timely. We've set up all the computers. We did training for 4 days. They haven't paid because us of what was in the agreement, which was signed by them. Even with the advice and warning, if they didn't understand, they could speak to somebody that they work with that's in IT. They could come and ask us. They could ask anybody. So it's not our responsibility. We've done what we can. I mean, we could definitely take this to court, and her company would be ruined, and that's not what we want. We do have a good reputation, and we want to maintain that reputation. The only solution I can find, because we're not going to now pay her £100,000 because of something that happened that was not actually anything to do with us. So you can't shift the blame onto somebody else. So we have Macs, which we have installed that software onto our Macs that have a 64-bit. The program is working absolutely 100%, absolutely fine. There's been no downtime. So we can offer her to provide her with 20 Macs that are 64-bit at £2,000 each, plus the VAT, of course. And we will come and install it, and we'll call it, that this is a fair, what would you call it, a fair trade on something that actually is not our responsibility, but we do want to come to an agreement. So we prepared to provide these Macs, get them installed with the right software, and that they buy the hardware that we advise them to buy against things like lightning and etc. So, for me, if she is prepared to take the 20 Macs at £2,000 each, with the software installed and running, they are 64 bits, we can guarantee, if she also buys the hardware to prevent any damage from lightning, etc., she is guaranteed 100% working at the time, and she'll be up and running within minutes. We will even go and install the computers.
How do you think that Steph might respond to that?
Well, I think she's quite aggressive in not wanting to take responsibility for what's happened. She has been demanding £100,000, which we're not going to pay that, and I don't think it's reasonable. Yes, she might have lost downtime on social media and maybe a couple of sales. She doesn't know that until everything is up and running. So she will be up and running, and if she's got sales that is there on the system, they're going to show, and she's still going to sell people. But we've made a loss. We've lost paying the licensing fee every month. We've lost the deposit, the amount that was promised to be paid after the 4 days of training. We haven't been paid that. So we've actually made a financial loss. they might not have made a financial loss on their social media. They might have a day or two where they haven't been able to update it, but if it's a sale, they're not going to lose their sales per se. So, I just feel we've actually really been more than fair, but I'm not sure whether they will accept that.
Can you tell me a bit more about your company?
Sure. We run on integrity, and we communicate every step of the way, which we have done on emails, and obviously phone calls, etc. We've made very clear communication. We've, stipulated when payments need to be made, and we always make sure that when we're installing and doing training, that it is done in the time that we say it's going to be done. So up to date, we have never been late with our installations or our training. Everything has been done when it was told it was going to be done. And, we go above and beyond. She was, interested in buying software. However, often people don't fully understand IT. So often we will tell people, you need, a unit that is plugged into an electric socket so that if anything happens, there's a surge or whatever, you are protected. And if a client doesn't do that, well then the onus is not on us, so we do give more advice, and it's up to them whether they want to take it or not. And we test our systems, our software packages, we test them both on Macs and on the Microsoft, and check how they work. Do they give 100% performance? Is it a 98 performance? How do they perform on a 32, a 64? So we've built a really good reputation, and we are a growing business. We've now got 3 places in the north, we've now moved to the south, and we want to do the same here. We want to operate with integrity, and we want to come to, an agreement and not have a sort of, where you are kind of, feeling that, it's, you've been unfairly sort of attacked, when actually we could step away, and it would cost them even more money rather than coming to an agreement, which is the preferred way, because, everybody is wanting to have a company, and make and earn money for our families, and for the economy. So, we don't want to walk away with any bad feelings. We want to walk away with, something that's going to be accepted by both parties. We certainly can't pay £100,000 for something that actually is not our responsibility, but we are prepared to offer the computers, at a cost.
I hear you saying that it's important to you to get an agreement today. What would happen if you didn't get an agreement today? What would happen?
Well, it would be very sad, I think. And it would mean that we would then have to go through the next process, the next step, and then those things are really costly. Solicitors, lawyers' fees are costly. So, it would be a sad thing, but then one would then just have to go that route, which is unnecessary, really.
How much do you think it might cost you?
Well, it's going to, well, for me, it's for us, it's going to be, 40,000. Sorry, my figures are not working so well. Yeah, 400,000, eh? No. Sorry.
You are very expensive lawyers.
40,000.
That sounds about right.
Sorry, $40,000 pounds. Okay, so it's going to cost us £40,000. You know, where we've already also lost, you know, our payment, because we were not paid after the 4 days of training. So we've already lost that. We're going to have to add the £40,000. And, you know, for us, I think that has been more than fair. Because going to court, it's going to be, what are the facts? You know, they're not going to work on anything else other than fact. And, you know, they could lose their business and go down the tube completely. I wouldn't want that because, you know, all of us are having to earn money to feed our families and live. So, I mean, so for me it would be that they would agree to 40,000 plus VAT, and we get it sorted out and we get these computers delivered and installed.
If this did end up going to court as you've described, if you don't get agreement today, if you had to put a percentage likelihood on you being successful in the court, as you think you will be, what would you say that is? Do you think it's 60% going to go your way, 70%? How likely?
I would reckon 98%.
98%.
Our way.
And is that the legal opinion that's been given to you?
Yes. Yeah. That was advice given to us by our lawyers. Yeah, because of all the communications, signed contracts, etc.
And you mentioned as well that your reputation is important to you. What do you think there might be any impact on your reputation if this doesn't agree today?
Well, if we were in the wrong, that would impact our reputation. But I'm very confident that we're not, that we are in the right. And I'm 98% sure about that. So I don't think that would damage our reputation because of the outcome, you know, would be the proof of that we had done stuff that, you know, we provided a software and a service that was, you know, in the agreement. And so, you know, it would just, I don't think it would damage us, but it would be a time-consuming thing, which, you know, we don't really have. Is time to be, you know, spending in court for weeks or months or however long these things take. So, you know, that would be the damages, you know, the time that we have to spend in court where we could be doing other things and installing software, you know, in other companies. So, you know.
We've come to the end of our 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we're now going to go and change private sessions and go into private session with Steph.
Okay.
But I'd just like you to think about a
Yes.
question whilst you're waiting for the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is the time and the money that going to court will cost you. You said it would cost you time, and you said it would cost you about £40,000. If you didn't spend those on that time and that money on going to court, where else would you spend that time and spend that money? What else would that be useful? Just a question for you to think about.
Yes. Okay.
Whilst
Okay.
we're in the private session with Steph.
Okay. Good.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We'll get you an amendment.
Okay.